Deputy John Lahart wishes to discuss the access to services for homeless people in Dublin. Deputy Lahart.
And constituent I have at the moment who I assisted before in finding a home has now been given notice until February the 11th when he will have to leave his apartment. Now, there are support services there, but that is how someone, if they don't get accommodated, manages to find themselves homeless overnight. They're not people who were on the street traditionally, don't have any particular mental issues or any kind of behavioural issues, can happen to anybody. She raised the issue of accessing services for people who've simply never had to interact with services before, and their complete ignorance of it, their complete awareness of where to go, who the first point of contact ought to be, and that advocates are needed in order to assist people. And she said, and it's a really interesting phrase, when a family doesn't know what to do, what do they do? She talked about the need for the system to help mentor people. In her experience, she had to find this help for the families that she has come across. In one instance, Minister, she spent, this is a school principal who had a lot of other things to do, she rang 55 hotels in one day for this family, who are Dublin-based, and at one stage she finally got a hotel in Mullingar. Dublin City Council weren't willing to accept it because it wasn't in Dublin, to accept it as accommodation for the family. Finally did accept it. She persuaded them to accept it. At one stage she was 35th on a list of callers holding with Dublin City Council. Now, she was advocating for the family. So my plea to you today, to go back to the ministers and the ministers of state, is this. When someone, as this school principal said to me, when a family doesn't know what to do and finds themselves homeless, what do they do? Now, we know, but if you don't know who to reach out to, and we were talking about essentially providing information campaigns, even if it's on billboards, if you find yourself threatened with this, these are the steps you make. And yet the system seems to assume, because our clinics are full of people terrified, they're beginning to ask now, which they didn't ask 6 months ago, there is a chance that in 6 months' time my landlord may decide to sell the house or refurbish the house or whatever. What do I do then? They're beginning to ask that now, which is, they weren't doing that before. So there's an anxiety out there with people. They need to know what the first steps they have to take, and I hope that the Minister and the Department take that on board. Thanks again, Carla.